Breaking news! The 49ers front office may be preparing something that could shake the foundations of this roster heading into the 2025 NFL season. After securing lucrative contract extensions for key players, the conversation now turns to who might be next in line and whether the team is prepared to take a chance on some intriguing, yet controversial names. I'll break it down for you in detail, so be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay in the know. Right tackle Colton McKivitz, wide receiver Jauan Jennings, and defensive lineman Yetur Gross-Matos are all on the radar, but not without raising eyebrows. Let's start with Colton McKivitz. The mere mention of his name sends a wave of skepticism through the Niners faithful. How could a player who's often criticized for his lack of elite performance be considered for a contract extension? The answer lies in the team's offensive line philosophy. Despite the vehement criticism, even from analysts like Chase Sr., who openly admits he wouldn't run the offensive line that way, the front office values McKivitz for one simple reason: affordability mixed with versatility. McKivitz isn't elite. He'll never be elite, but he improved in 2024, enough for the 49ers brass to view him as a starting caliber right tackle. His overall Pro Football Focus, PFF, grade was 72.2, ranking 37th out of 141 offensive tackles. Pass blocking showed improvement, but his run blocking dipped slightly to a grade of 68.6, placing him 46th. Here's the double-edged sword. He allowed only 2 sacks last season, a clear step forward from the 9 sacks he surrendered in 2023. But pressures allowed? A brutal 36, ranking him 124th. That's the kind of stat that makes fans clench their fists watching Brock Purdy scramble for his life. But context matters. Trent Williams is aging, 37 years old, and frequently injured. The 49ers didn't select a single offensive tackle in the 2025 NFL Draft. That leaves McKivitz as not just a placeholder, but a crucial insurance policy. His ability to slot in at right tackle, left tackle, or even the interior line gives the front office some breathing room, albeit with significant risk. The backup options? Barely reassuring. Austin Pleasants, Andre Dillard, Spencer Burford, Sebastian Gutierrez, none of these names inspire confidence. And don't be fooled into thinking this is about rewarding mediocrity. It's financial pragmatism. The top right tackles are commanding astronomical salaries: Penei Sewell at $28 million, Lane Johnson at $25 million, and Jawaan Taylor at $20 million annually. The 49ers know McKivitz won't sniff that stratosphere. His contract would keep the salary cap flexible while filling a necessary role, however imperfectly. Now pivot to Jauan Jennings, whose story feels like something straight out of a Hollywood script. Once a 7th-round pick from Tennessee, a guy who didn't even make the 53-man roster as a rookie, Jennings has become the unsung hero of the wide receiver corps. Coming off a career-best season, 77 receptions, 975 yards, and 6 touchdowns, he's now one of the best value contracts in the NFL at under $8 million per year. But here's the kicker: Jennings could be on the brink of pricing himself out of San Francisco. If he replicates or surpasses his 2024 output, expect his market value to soar into the $15 to $20 million range annually. Is he a true WR1? No. But can he be one of the best WR2s in football? Absolutely. His ability to dominate on third downs, his toughness, his exceptional blocking, and his knack for winning contested catches make him indispensable in Kyle Shanahan's offense. The stakes get even higher when factoring in the uncertainty surrounding Brandon Aiyuk. Should Aiyuk miss significant time, potentially half the season, Jennings becomes the de facto WR1. Behind him, the depth chart is unproven at best. Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, Tarek Owens, Isaiah Neyor, and Junior Bergen all represent question marks rather than answers. Jennings' decision may ultimately come down to timing. Does he bet on himself, play out 2025, and hit free agency looking for a payday the Niners likely won't match? Or does he lock in now with a team and a culture that has become his NFL home? Either way, this is a storyline with massive implications for the Niners' offense. But let's not ignore the defense, where Yetur Gross-Matos emerges as another under-the-radar extension candidate. At first glance, the idea might seem puzzling. Gross-Matos was signed to a 2-year, $18 million deal, with a $9.5 million cap hit looming for 2025. But this isn't about his past production, it's about future flexibility. An extension could lower that cap hit while retaining a player with intriguing upside. Gross Matos, a former second-round pick out of Penn State, showed flashes in 2024 despite battling injuries. His stat line wasn't eye-popping, 4 sacks and 6 tackles for loss, but his physical traits, 6 feet 5 inches, 265 pounds, long arms, and positional versatility make him valuable. He can slide between defensive end and tackle, offering depth and scheme flexibility in a defensive front that thrives on rotating bodies. This brings us to the juiciest speculation of all, free agency. The 49ers could still be players in a market full of veteran talent. Defensive ends like Jadeveon Clowney and Za'Darius Smith are out there. Clowney, despite bouncing between teams, remains a physical force against the run and an occasional disruptor in the pass rush. Smith, with his experience in the wide nine scheme, might be an even cleaner fit. In the secondary, Justin Simmons and Julian Blackmon are names to watch. Simmons, a 4-time second-team All-Pro, had a down year but remains a locker room leader with high football IQ. Blackmon, someone the Niners have previously shown interest in, could shore up the back end of the defense. And let's not forget linebacker, where C.J. Mosley's name pops up, a potential stabilizer in a room filled with promising but unproven talent like Dee Winters, Jalen Graham, and Nick Martin. This is the reality of being a Super Bowl contender in a salary cap league. Tough decisions. Risky bets. Balancing the present with the future. And every single one of these decisions has a ripple effect that could make or break the 49ers' 2025 campaign. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about potentially extending Colton McKivitz, Jauan Jennings, or Yetur Gross-Matos? Are these the right moves, or should the Niners pivot to other strategies? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And speaking of ripple effects, the free agent market is a powder keg waiting to explode, and the Niners could be right in the middle of it. The need for depth is glaring, particularly on the defensive line. Jadeveon Clowney, while often criticized for never hitting double-digit sacks in a season, brings more to the table than just pass rushing numbers. He's an enforcer on the edge, someone who plays with grit, sets the edge against the run, and brings an undeniable physicality that embodies what the Niners' defense is all about. Za'Darius Smith offers a different type of intrigue. His familiarity with the wide nine defensive front, a staple in San Francisco's defensive philosophy, makes him an instant plug-and-play option. His production in recent years proves that he still has plenty left in the tank, and pairing him opposite Nick Bosa could create one of the most formidable edge-rushing duos in the league. In the secondary, Justin Simmons might just be the most underrated name still available. Yes, his last year in Atlanta was a step back statistically, but context matters. A disastrous Falcons defense left Simmons exposed more often than not. With the Niners' elite front seven, Simmons wouldn't be asked to cover for broken plays nearly as much, allowing him to return to his all-pro form. Julian Blackmon, younger and ascending, remains another intriguing option the 49ers already had eyes on before. At linebacker, C.J. Mosley's potential addition could be the stabilizing presence the unit desperately needs. With Fred Warner holding it down as the captain, Mosley could complement him perfectly, offering experience and leadership to help develop young talents like Dee Winters, Jalen Graham, and Nick Martin. It comes down to this: the 49ers are one or two shrewd moves away from cementing themselves as not just NFC favorites, but legitimate Super Bowl favorites again. Whether it's securing current players like McKivitz, Jennings, or Gross-Matos, or tapping into the veteran free agent pool for proven difference makers, every decision counts. And here's where I turn the question over to you. Should the Niners go all in on these extensions, target these veteran free agents, or go a completely different route? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Go Niners!